to me, Formula One racing or a Formula One car, it's a very sophisticated machine that produces very high speeds. And when you are driving, on the personal side, let's say, you have a very great excitement with the feeling that you are going very fast, with the feeling that you are going close to the limits. That means not only maximum speed in a straight line, but high speed in a corner, or a late braking maneuver where you feel you are close to the limit of losing control and maybe having an accident. So every time you are close to those limits, the excitement increases, and your heart goes quicker, and your breath goes stronger, and it is all the time very important that you keep self-control, not only when you're driving on your own, so you are just trying to go a little quicker and quicker and quicker, to not exceed those limits, because sometime if you exceed one of those limits, it could mean a big accident, could mean a big injury or your life. On the other hand, when you are driving together somebody, you are fighting for a position, then is even more important to keep self-control, because sometimes you have some very close fights, sometimes you could get angry with the other driver, and then you could take action outside of your reason, just by your heart, and that could mean also a bad result, a bad injury or a bad accident. So there are two ways of doing it. One is by your heart, and one is a combination of your heart and your brain, you know. And of course, the one that gives you more enjoyment, more excitement, is by your heart, because that means just doing it by your feeling, just natural feeling. And the other one, when you use your reason, your thinking, then thousands of things go in your mind while you're driving. For instance, the responsibility you have at that moment with all team members, all sponsors, everybody involved, direct or indirect, behind you. So when you think about all that, it takes a lot of the pleasure away, because the responsibility being big, the tension builds up a lot, and the pleasure decreases. But this is a profession, and so you have to learn how to make a combination of your profession and your pleasure. Because I also believe you can only perform as a racing driver if, first of all, you have pleasure. That's the most important thing, because that will give you motivation. Motivation for being away from your home most of your time, being away from your family, from your friends, from your country most of your time, being in hotels, restaurants, airplanes, airports for most of the year. And when you do it, when you travel once a year, few days for pleasure, is enjoyable. But when you travel consistent every week, sometimes twice, 3 times a week, different countries, different places, it becomes very heavy. It becomes tiring. So the life of a racing driver has the glorious side, the excitement, the financial side, but has another hard side, which is your life, risk of your life, risk of your health, the penalty of traveling a lot, being away from the people you love to be together, away from your country. And so the only proper motivation for you to keep hard work, concentration, and good performance, I think, is enjoyment of driving. So you have to find a compromise between the profession and the heart driving to make a balance for your profession, for your performance, for your life. If I enjoy? Not always. Not always. As I was describing, there are moments that it's very difficult to keep your mind cool, keep your feeling clear and positive, because it's a big fight all the time. But generally, of course, I enjoy. Otherwise, I wouldn't be doing it. Since I come to Formula One, as a newcomer, it was difficult to keep control, self-control, to not exceed those limitations, because deep inside, I believe I am very strong in a way of driving. I mean, I want always to go faster. That's my nature. That's what I call nature. Even with experience and learning everything, you have a nature. And my nature is always a big fight, trying harder, trying to go faster, trying to be winner, and quicker. So I know that this is my natural characteristic. And knowing that, I try with the reason to control that and to improve that side, in order that in a long term I know that I will get a better achievements if I control it. So I know I have a big natural feeling for driving, but today I believe, I also know that this is not enough. If you have that natural feeling, you need a very strong control, very clear mind on top of it, so you can develop. And since I come to Formula One, to start, I was very anxious to do well as quick as possible, to win as soon as possible. And it was very hard to control myself, very hard to control, but just try. You still make mistakes, sometimes you still exceed, but on the other hand, even if you try to be perfect, nobody's perfect. And you can only try hard to learn from your own mistakes, and to learn by looking other people doing it as well. And that's what I call concentration. And I think I try very hard on the concentration side to understand as best as possible all the situations that present to me in different occasions, different circuits, different cars, different conditions, everything. It's so important for me to be able to read out the situation as it presents to me, in order that I have a quick reaction, but a correct reaction for it. And in '87, for instance, I knew I didn't have a car to start a race and determine the pace of the race and then to win. I realized that from the beginning. And as I realized that I had to control very much myself, for instance, in many occasions at the beginning of some races, to not push very hard, because I would lose performance from the car, from the whole race. So I had to wait, leave the other cars, go a bit ahead, and wait for the right moment of technical conditions of my car to push harder and try to come back and fight. And this is very hard. When you have the machine in your hand and you have the possibility of increasing your power on your dashboard, or you have the possibility of pushing harder the throttle or braking later, it's difficult to control. It's difficult to have all that and leave it for later.
Yeah.
You understand? Because it's there. And when somebody is pushing you from behind and you are under pressure, the normal reaction is to try immediately to go away. Or when somebody is ahead of you and is going away, the immediate reaction is to try to follow it. But many times if you do it, you will damage your equipment during the whole race distance. So you have to learn how to control and how to keep the equipment in the best condition as possible for the whole race. Sometimes means saving it a lot at one stage because it would be very expensive. And then later, when the conditions are the best, taking out everything you have from the car to make a good performance. So it is difficult to keep self-control and self-level. It is very difficult. Yeah. My life dream is to enjoy what I'm doing, is to, of course, win the championship, not once, but as long as I am driving, is to always maintain a high professional level of working, and always have the respect of the people that are direct or indirect involved with me. And on the personal life, of course, is to find the special woman that I was talking before, to partner my life, my professional life, my private life, and have a good life in a wedding, in a marriage, with children, and continue having the extraordinary relationship I have with my family, right from young, forever, and be healthy and positive about life until it lasts. I always been very close to my family, and I always lived in Brazil, in São Paulo. I was born in São Paulo, big city. Not like Tokyo, but very big city. And always had a good life, being involved in lots of sports, lots of activities, and I already start getting involved with the motor racing by 4 years old, the age of 4 years old, when my father had an engineering manufacturer, and he built a go-kart for me and gave me to try and see if I like, if I enjoy or not. And since then I always been somehow involved already with motor racing as a hobby, just for fun. Over weekends going to special places close, so I could just go round and round, no competition, just go round, just practicing. And life has always been very good for me. Yes, when I was in Brazil, I used to do go-karts as my hobby, as my fun, and I had also school to make. So I was never a brilliant student, but I was okay. I did well. I never had to repeat the same stage, and I studied until 18 years old, 19 years old, when I got into the university. But as I got into university of business and management, I decided to stop and dedicate full time to motor racing. So it was a difficult decision in my life because I had two roads to take then. I got into a stage I had to choose. And it was difficult to choose motor racing, stop studying. My parents did not want me to go motor racing. They only want me to do as a hobby, for fun, go-karts, not to change for racing cars and make it professionally. So it was a difficult time, but I guess it was a good one, good decision.
Yeah.
Because I did so many competitions, so many races, I was still very young, 17, 18 years old, but I had already the opportunity of competing in many different events, different circuits, different categories in go-karts, and for a relatively long time. So I was young, full of power to go on, but also a good experience. So I wanted to try to drive a racing car to see if I could drive it well. And I thought the best way of doing it was in Europe, because in Brazil it was not possible to have good equipment. Racing car, go-kart was okay, but not racing car. So then I decided to go to England. And I want to try. I want to try to compete also in racing cars and be successful, because I had done in go-karts, so I want to try this new challenge. And I'm very happy I did.
And come to England.
Yes.
When what age?
Oh, I was 20.
20.
20.
I see. And it's the first time to come to Europe?
No, I come to Europe three times before to do go-kart racing.
Ah, I see. So, but at that time you did not speak English so well, or so
Difficult. Difficult. The beginning was difficult to understand people talking, more even difficult to speak, especially technical terms. But after 2-3 months, start to go a little bit easier, and always learning. So I was okay. No, when I came to England, I came to drive to a works team, a factory, and I came to do it, only that. So I dedicate my full time to that. Every day I was in the factory. The factory was based just in front of the circuit, it's Ayrton circuit, in the north of England. So I used to spend all my time between the factory and the circuit, and used to test a lot to develop the car for the factory. And I did it all by myself and with the factory people that I got to know and work together.
How was the result of Formula Ford?
It was very good. I did 18 races and I won 12 or 13. And my third race I won already.
I see.
And then after the third race, many
So
victories.
in that time you thought you had a good ability about racing in the international field.
Yeah, I realized it was possible to be successful. It was still too early to judge because it was only my first step in motor racing. But it was possible.
Yeah.
Needs hard work and lots of dedication and timing, spending, but it was possible. I realized that as we got into the straight, he was coming very quick because we had those back markers, and I realized he was coming quicker than me with the slipstream, and he also used overboost.
Yes.
And so because we are teammates, I could not close the door. Otherwise it would be easy to close the door, no problem. So I just tried to brake as late as I could to make it more difficult for him, the maneuver. And if it was difficult for me to brake that late, for him to brake even later than me would be nearly impossible, considering we have the same cars. So he tried the maneuver and he managed to brake late, but went a bit wide, as I expect. So I had a quick change of direction and room to come back and take the lead. So it was a very close maneuver, a dangerous one. Risk one, but it was an exciting one.
In that time, your mind is cool or cool?
It's very cool.
Very cool.
Yes, because I find as cool you can be, clear thinking you will have.
Yes.
It's difficult to keep cool because it's adrenaline going and competition and everything. But you also learn. You create it and you learn, develop, and then you perform. And that is also important. Sometimes you may need a little bit of aggression. It's a good combination between aggression, power, sheer power, and cool thinking. That will give you the best result.
Yeah.
But how to evaluate and judge all the ingredients and the percentage of those ingredients to make a good mixture is the difficult. Yeah.
So, for instance, physical condition, usually physical condition is very important?
Very important. It's a combination. I have been doing since '84 a program of physical training, and I do it, most of it, early in the season, between December and March, when we are not racing. We are only testing, so I have many time to spend in my program, physical condition program. And I am in Brazil, it's hot, summertime, so I can train in the heat which is what you need, because when you drive the races, you're always in summer times. So I train in the heat, and I train my heart condition, my body muscle condition, just enough to have a good performance, not much, otherwise it's too much. But try to learn about my own abilities, my own limits, and use it in the best way, together with your mind, and a good balance, a good clear mind, everything, like I just described before. Great expectation, tension. I start working together with the twice world champion, Alain Prost. That for me is the best driver in Formula One. And I came from 86, 87, kind of frustrating time, where I try very hard and I dedicate a lot of my time, my power, and I didn't get as much success as I wish. And I came very tired, mentally and physically. So I recovered between end of last season, beginning this season, physically and mentally, but not fully. I was so tired that 3-4 months were not enough for me to rebuild myself physically and mentally, especially mentally. So I had to start race again. The championship starts, and I had no more time to continue that build up. So I stopped, and I just start my work, the races tests, and the reflect of this new environment that I face with the past experience gave me some difficulties, and these difficulties I could feel, but I was not reacting against it. I was just feeling, I was getting affected by it, but I was not reacting it. So then I failed. Then I had the opportunity to understand and realize that I was not reacting, and that was affecting me in my concentration. So then I changed, not only by myself, but I had the help of my family, and my sister is a psychologist. So just talking to her, she knows me so well, she could help me, and I did a mental work to get stronger, get as strong as I always been. Because I was not as strong as I used to by that time of Monaco, mentally. So I could build up again that mental strength and come closer to God. I'm Catholic, but never been intensive. And I realized I could come closer, and I did. And these two things together gave me the power and strength and clear mind to continue the championship, but with a clear mind. And since then, everything went better and better. If you look the results, I had Mexico after Monaco. It was a strong race, but a safe race for me. I drove it safely, not aggressive, but not too aggressive, more on the safe side. It was the first taste of my power. I could feel I had the power, but it was not the time to use it still. It was the time just to build confidence. So I drove for a good result. It was the second place. And then next race, Montreal, and then Detroit. And Montreal, very aggressive, powerful, like always I've been. And I had a good result. it changed my approach to relationship with people. My approach to the relationship with the team members, press, my teammate, everything changed from my end, just for me, not for other people, just for me.
How?
It's difficult to describe, Mr. Sakurai. I just changed it because I realized the problem, and I changed it to protect myself, to avoid this problem. And it worked very well, and it's been very good since then. Now I think I have two lives. One is my professional life, and the other is my private life. And my private life, I don't think anybody really knows, because this private life is based in Brazil, with my family, with my few close friends, and with my girlfriend. And because of Formula One, I don't have as much time as I would like to spend on that other life, which is Brazil. But the excitement I get from driving a racing car fast is so great that I need it. And I try to make a combination between the excitement I need on driving and all the other feelings I also enjoy, and I love taking life easy and relaxing back with my family in Brazil. I believe I am going up and I'm close to a great achievement. But even so, I think that's not the maximum.
Yes.
There is still potential to carry on, going up and up. And I don't know where is the maximum still. I know where I am and when I start, and I can still go up, but I don't know where is the maximum. On the other side, Formula One is it's a powerful game. For me particularly, it's where I get a great excitement by driving, not by being part of Formula One, but by driving. What I really love and I like to do, and that's the reason why I do Formula One, is the driving, excitement, the feeling of finding out the limits, going close to the limits, the feeling of the danger that is always consistent around us, and the challenge to win. That's basically what Formula One means to me. You have many other things, but they are all part of it. They are not fundamental. And my private can have the right ingredients to be not only a professional racing driver, but more than that, a successful racing driver, is your strength, your beliefs, your determination to succeed. And of course, it comes from your mind activity. So it's a consistent battle to keep on going through all the challenges that you get inside and outside the racing circuit, inside and outside the racing environment. It's a consistent battle between yourself, with your own mind, always searching for a way of motivating yourself and a way of creating the right situation for you, which will bring out the very best in terms of performance. So it has been and it is still my biggest challenge, my own mind. Yeah, I think a lot is request and is expect from drivers and teams to perform in a professional manner at a high level, from the organizers, from the officials, from the governing bodies of motor racing, and drivers and teams do try very hard and do perform to a high level in order to have a good show for the public. On the other hand, my feeling is that the same does not apply to the authorities, where amongst those people there are some good people, of course, but the structure of it is not appropriate to the demands of the modern Formula 1. I believe many improvements have been made in safety areas, in changing rules, but fundamentally the principles that are behind the decisions are not quite clear. And those situations only contribute to disputes and difficulties amongst particularly Formula 1 racing. So ideally it would be necessary for a more modern, professional approach to the modern Formula 1. But of course, this is something quite complicated, political, and I guess in all activities worldwide where competition is high, where the interests are great, There are never perfect organizations. The problems are always there. And it's only a question of doing the best you can with what you have. So I think that applies as well to Formula 1. I don't have dates, to be honest. I think I will, from now on, just experience year after year my feelings, my motivations, and my objectives, and make my plans this way. So I could race for many years still, as well I could race for only a few years in Formula 1. And that is something that I believe I can keep open, keep completely open to in my life, in order that I can have the best situation every year. I think that's why I say that I think I can keep open my options now year after year, in order that I can understand and I can access better my own desires, my own instincts, my own objectives, as far as the future is concerned. And doing this way, I hope to innovate all the time my challenges. I believe if I'm able to put myself in this situation of innovation year after year, I can continue going up. And of course, if I can continuously go up year after year, the level of performance is going to be greater and greater year after year, which is in a way fascinating for me and is a great motivation for me. Yeah, I think as part of your life, we all have a common characteristic in the human side, which is as you experience good things in life, it's always difficult to stay without them. When you taste a good drink, when you taste good food, when you see a nice view, when you find a lovely woman, as a human nature, it's a lot more difficult to be without those things, to live without those things. And apart from my profession, my racing, which is most done outside my country, outside Brazil, most of the good things that I have experienced in my life are there, back in Brazil. So even if I have a nice apartment here in Monte Carlo, nice view, nice atmosphere, I have even nicer things back home, back in Brazil, to live with. and to experience, to share, which of course are very attractive, very motivating for me. Therefore, that is where I like to be, as much as I can. So I think as you grown up, as you experience life year after year, you change. And your wishes become clearer and clearer, more and more important. Your priorities as well. But as you are finding out new things about your own life, about yourself, you have to adjust your lifestyle to those new discoveries. And that happens with me, of course. So it's always pleasant to have your lovely woman near to you. Doesn't matter if you are relaxing or you working. I think there are moments that your mind is what determines what is good for you. Doesn't matter if you're working or not. If your mind at the same moment you're working requires a little bit of care and a little bit of love near to you, it's something that is in your nature and is your psychological and your body requirements in order that you can be more in equilibrium. If you are in equilibrium, you'll be better overall. And I felt very strong inside, the will, the desire to drive and to do well, even under the difficulties, to overcome the difficulties, the technical difficulties. I had tremendous push inside to try to do it. Decided that I had to try. I had to try for myself, for the team, and for my fans, for everybody. All the reasons, were telling me you must try. You may not succeed, but you must try. And perhaps, you can learn a lot more under the circumstances. About winning. My mind was complete focus on being first, getting first place, the quickest possible. When the start was about to happen, my mind was telling me, okay, you must try to be as far ahead you can. The sooner you can, because I believe, I thought and I believe that the initial laps, the competition, people would be undecided about pace, how hard how dangerous, how difficult, huh? So they would be reluctant to go. And if I could be aggressive, particularly in the first laps, perhaps I could make a lot of ground, overtaking and also distance over everybody else. And that would give me a chance psychologically over everybody else, and also in the circuit some distance over everybody to play during the race. It was a mind game. And many things are easy to speak or talk about theories, and then on the practical it's very difficult to use or to do. You must try. You must try. And in any circumstance, you should try to do the best you can. Sometimes it's good, and it's good enough. Sometimes not good enough. Sometimes it's a mistake. But if you try faithfully and in an honest way to do good, that's what you can hope for. Success and responsibilities that comes as a result of success, people's expectations from you sometimes are very heavy to cope and to handle. And it is an easy thing to lose control of your own destiny, of your own way, to get confused or get pushed to a different way. And I think I believe that God helps. It's important to keep consistent way of life. It is a source of peace, power, equilibrium, strength. It's the belief of what you're doing. And for you to believe strongly in what you're doing, you must be in peace. You must be in equilibrium. So you can feel good. You feel good, you are stronger. You're stronger. You challenge yourself. And all of that with a greater possibility of succeeding. We all need to be happy. It doesn't matter if we are Japanese or Brazilian or European or American or African or Chinese. People need to be happy. And people need to be healthy, happy, and people need people. People need love. And so I think whatever you do for the future, as a single individual or as a group, or as a nation, you need to consider not only your own happiness, your own health, There are no needs for love, but also some other people too. Requirements, needs. And because the world is growing so much that even in different countries becoming more and more one single earth. If we lose a friend or a family member, hurts. And you feel, why it happened to me? Why? So we don't have the capability to understand. Our mind is too small. We cannot understand. And it takes a lot of strength to overcome those situations that we don't understand. That we feel bad, we feel sad. Right? And sometime later, a year or 10 years, or that situation may come around and show you a little bit different. That was not such a good thing. That was perhaps a necessary thing to happen. God is not a simple thing to understand and to accept. You either accept or you don't. Particularly in Japan, because I know I have lots of friends there. But whoever those people are, if they have found anything special through my activity, through the way I do it, and the way I speak, the way I act, the way I do things, if those people have been able to identify on myself something positive, something good. What they have done is to find exactly who I am, because I basically am a motor racing man, a sportsman, a man of big belief that if you believe on something, you can do it. And I am all the time exactly where I am inside. So those people who are my fans, they probably have captured what I am inside and not what I am superficially. And therefore, they will never find wrong. They will never be let down. Because basically this is what I am, and it's not an image that has been created or painted as something and is something else. I am what I am.
こうして海を見ていると セナが住んでいたモナコのあのキラキラした海を思い出します。彼が F1 をドライブしていた頃、その当時のマシンは必ずしも今のように安全なものではありませんでした。それこそスピンして壁に激突すればいつ死んでもおかしくないような、そんな危険と隣り合わせて走りながらも、セナはいつも自分の力の 99.9% を発揮して走り続けました。その証が10年間で65回もポールポジションを取った大記録です。いわばセナは50年の F1 史上最も速いドライバーであり、そして一人の大天才でした。同時にセナのピュアなチャレンジングスピリット、また爽やかな人間性、そして何よりも明日に向かっていつも努力する姿、それは全世界の人々に希望や勇気やそして夢を与え続けました。古来より富や権力によってではなくて、精神や英知によって人々に希望や勇気を与え、社会を正しい方向に導いていく人をヨーロッパでは詩人と呼んでいます。その意味でアイルトン・セナは一人の天才ドライバーとしてではなくて、20世紀の生んだ大詩人であったというふうにも言えるでしょう。しかしながら彼は一朝一夕に天才になったわけでも大詩人になったわけでもありません。それこそ小さな石を一つ一つ積み重ねるような日々の努力、それがいくつもの限界を突破させ、また大きな壁を乗り越えさせたのだと思います。その意味で彼は天才であったというよりは天才になったんだというふうに僕には思えるのです。彼はよく成功のためにはライトディレクション、ライトウェイ、ライトタイミングが大切だというふうに言っていました。これは正しい方向を向いて正しいやり方で適切なタイミングでことをなすことだという意味です。そうした彼の人生哲学、あるいは彼の生き様は、僕たちこうして日常を生きている、普通の人生を生きている僕たちにもとても大事なメッセージや知恵が隠されているように思うのです。僕自身1994年に彼が突然死んだ時、本当に悲しかったし苦しみもしました。しかしその中からなんとか彼のそうした知恵やメッセージをみんなに伝えていきたい、そう思って4巻のビデオを作りましたが、そのプロセスでそれこそ毎日のように彼の映像や言葉に付き合っている時、生前には発見できなかった新しいものを見つけ出し、それがその後の自分自身の生き方にとても勇気を与えてくれました。そして今回もその彼の語ったものの中からエッセンスを取り出してこの作品を作る過程でまた新しい発見をしました。そしてこうした海を眺めると誰もがごく自然にそのたくましさや優しさに惹かれ好きになるように、僕は今回の作業を通してますますセナのことが好きになりました。